So why don't you just find a place where you're comfortable and relaxed. You might want to begin lying down because that's when we begin moving. We'll begin from a supine lying down position. You don't have to though. So if you'd rather be grounded down to the earth with your sit bones, nice tall spine, you can do that here as well. Just taking time to ease into the moment. Gently, with awareness, and we'll begin to give our full attention to the body, closing down the eyes if it's comfortable. And with each breath, allow your mind to follow the path of the air into and out of your lungs. So breathing in, down, circulating through the lungs, and then up and out. You might begin to slightly deepen and lengthen the breath. Paying attention to your inhales and your exhales. Imagining as you draw in your inhales, the air you're breathing is clean, pure, fresh oxygen there to rejuvenate and cleanse, renew you, refresh. And with your exhale, that you can release any fragments of worry, dis-ease, any heaviness that you might be carrying. See if you can release that with your exhale. So just mindfully breathing in and out here for a few more rounds of breath. So not forcing anything. Maybe the breath is lengthened, but keep it natural and easy. Allow that breath to bring a gentle clarity to your mind. Feel how, without much effort at all, we can be supported making decisions or just creating a little bit of space there, a little head space. Really practical anytime during our day or night. Breathing easily here, that gentle attention and awareness. Breathing in. Breathing out. Continuing to feel that sensation of the breath moving through your body. Wherever you identify that sensation. Maybe the movement of the torso, the expansion of the belly and the rib cage in the chest, and the contraction. Maybe you're still with your mind's eye tracing the path of the breath as it enters and exits. And just allow the breath to become natural again. Just allow it to return to its natural rhythm. Maybe noticing a shift, any shifts that might have occurred, body, mind, emotionally as well. And just take a moment here, if you like, to consider that infinite source of grounding and centering and pause that is our breath, that we carry with us always. The little focus and attention, we can tap into all of those inner reserves we have for peace and spaciousness, centering and pause. So maybe take a moment here just in gratitude for that ever-present infinite breath. And if it feels right, you might like to form an intention Anything that resonates with you, just something you want to maybe remind yourself of or dedicate yourself to, a quality you'd like to embody or emotion you'd like to cultivate, whatever comes to mind. And so we will begin our movement practice in a lying down posture. And as you lie down, have your strap nearby. We'll use that to help open up the hips tonight. So let's begin with the legs lengthened down from the hips, the arms just resting, palms up at your sides. Let's rock the head gently from side to side. And as you rock your head to the right, gently press that right ear down towards your mat. Not forcing anything, just so that you feel a little stretch. And the same on the left. And just gently let the head melt from side to side. And then just bring the spine back to neutral so that your gaze, if your eyes are open, is towards the sky. You can keep the eyes closed if you like. Let's reach the arms overhead. Point the toes in the opposite direction. Find a nice full body stretch here. Yawning, sighing, whatever feels good. Maybe rotating through your wrists and ankles as well. Taking some breaths in to stretch and lengthen, and maybe on the out breath, softening. And then repeating. And then let's bend the knees. Take the feet just a little wider than hip distance. And arms can be wherever you'd like. Maybe they're in a cactus position, just passively opening through the shoulders here, and we'll allow the knees to swish side to side. Awaken the hips and the pelvis, the knees. And you can tune into the abdominal area as well. As you roll through center, press the low back into the mat, and you'll have a gentle awakening there of your abdominals. When you're ready, allow the knees to come to the right and just rest there. And you might cross right ankle over left knee. You can press that upper hip forward a little bit if it's anchored down there. A little bit of an extra stretch in psoas and the quadricep. And we'll try to keep those shoulder blades grounded, gazing up to the sky. One more breath here. And then unwinding just at your own pace, allow the knees to fall over to the left. Rest here for a few breaths. Maybe making it a little more active by pressing that upper hip forward. You don't have to. I'll try to offer some variations while we're in different postures. And you can just pick what sounds good and feels good to you. And if I don't offer a variation that feels good, just you know your body best. Go ahead and linger wherever you would like to. And we'll unwind. Before we get into some hip stretches and inner thigh stretches, we'll just walk the heels in a little bit closer to the glutes. Stretch your arms long at your sides, palms down. And then we'll come into some rolling bridges. So pressing into the soles of the feet, just peeling the tailbone and then the low back, mid back. Our back off of the spine, up of the mat. Sorry, arms can roll up and over like arc and a rainbow. Come to rest overhead and then exhale, lower everything down. Arms can arc forward. So arms can be involved or they can just rest at your sides. Your choice, working with the breath, inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower down. Find your own rhythm. One more complete rolling bridge, inhaling up and then exhaling to lower. And when you've lowered down, we're going to press to hold this time. So arms might come long at your sides, palms press to the earth, the arms, press the soles of the feet in and raise your hips. And you can walk the shoulder blades underneath a little bit and clasp your hands if you'd like, or you can keep, you can just put the effort in that you want to tonight. Just find that balance for yourself. So it doesn't need to be your tallest bridge, but if you want to, you can lift a little higher. We're going to hold for 3 more breaths. Maybe you gaze to your belly here and just notice those breaths expanding and contracting. One more breath in. And on your exhale, lower yourself down. And we'll bring the knees into the chest for a little hug. Take time here to rock if you like. While you're here, you might point the toes and then flex the feet. And point one more time. And then flex. Let's reach to find our strap, if you're using one tonight. If you're not, that's fine too. If you have a strap, just place it around the balls of both feet. Take an end of the strap in each hand and lengthen the legs up towards the sky. If you're not working with the strap, you can just lengthen the legs and place your hands behind your thighs to support. Keep your spine nice and long here. So rather than lifting the hips, we'll keep the spine nice and long and that sacrum grounded to the mat. And if you want to, you can just draw those shins a little closer to your torso by pulling on the straps, both ends of the strap. Maybe flexing the toes towards the shins. And then breathe deeply. We're going to work a little bit more with the right leg to start. So left leg can just be released from the strap and you can bring it to the sole of the foot to the mat and bend your knee, or you can lengthen that left leg long, just let it rest. Take both ends of the strap into your right hand and let that right leg just fall over to the right. And here we're trying to keep, again, the shoulder blades grounded and both hips parallel to the earth. That left hip might rise a little bit. If it rises too much, you might take your left hand to your left hip bone and press down. So right leg is heavy and supported by the strap here. If you're not working with the strap, you can either have that right leg lengthened and support with your right hand underneath, or you can bend at the knee. Just take your hand to the right knee, support there. Either way, you're going to have a nice opportunity for an inner thigh stretch, outer hip. And we'll make our way to bring the right leg up to center and then let it fall gently to the left. So straps come to the left hand this time. And again, we want to keep the shoulder blades grounded. And we're not working to stack the hips here. We're not making this so much about spinal twist. It's more about getting into that fascia, the outer right leg, or IT band. So sometimes I find it useful just to hook my right thumb in my right hip crease to discourage too much of a twist and keep that right hip not rising up too high. It's not going to be completely grounded, but everybody's different in this pose. You don't sometimes need to move too far to feel that sensation. And if you want more, you can always, for the last breath or two here, just pull on that strap a little bit more, drawing the foot a little bit closer to your head, I guess. Keeping the leg long, but drawing the leg up a little. And then we'll release, come back to center, bend the knee. Let's find happy baby here, half happy baby. So the left leg's still relaxed, right knee bends. You can take your hand if you want to the outside of your right foot or to your ankle, or you can just use the strap. I like to use both, my left hand on the strap and my right hand on my foot. Breathe into this deep stretch. And then whenever you're ready, we'll switch to the other side. So right foot can be released from the strap. Left ball of the foot comes into the strap. Just find that place where you'd like your right leg to rest. Knee bent or leg lengthened. Lengthen your left leg up toward the sky. Straps are held by your left hand. And then just open it out to the left. Gazing up. Checking in with the shoulder blades and the hips, grounding there. And then supporting the leg with the strap or with your hand if you're not working with a strap. Letting it be heavy and passive. And breathing. Take another breath here. And then bring the leg up towards the sky again. Use this strap for support. Change your hands. So right hand to the strap. And lower your left leg over to the right. Checking in with the shoulder blades and the hips. Left hip is raised, but not too much. Take another breath here. And then ease your way back up to neutral spine, hips beneath the shoulders, and we'll bend the left knee, finding half happy baby. So you're drawing the left knee wide to the side of the ribs, and then knee towards the earth, up towards the shoulder. And then just gently release, set your strap off to the side for now. Let's bring the knees into the chest for another hug. If you can, you might reach your hands down, lifting your head, neck, and shoulders. Maybe the hands can reach the bottoms of the feet, sort of wrap the fingers around the bottom of the feet. Press the feet into the hands and pull the hands in the opposite direction. Feel a nice opening there between the shoulder blades. Really tuck your chin, knees towards the forehead. And soften back down, release. Let's bring the knees up above the hips and the shins can be parallel to the earth. If you want, you can walk your hands, palms down just underneath the hips a little bit, pressing your low back into the mat. Then we're going to tap the right toes down and then the left toes. And draw the right knee back up just above the hip, left knee back up. So lowering right toes, left toes, right knee rises, left knee rises. Let's continue with those, a few more on this side or with that right toe leading, and then we'll switch sides. So keeping the mind on that area of the low back. As you press it into your mat, already your abdominals are working. We add a little bit of movement in a slow and controlled way. We're working just a little harder. So last time on this side, right toes and left toes, then lift the knees. And then we'll meet back. Shins parallel to the earth. Check that the knees are above the hips and not back towards your belly. We're working a little harder that way, with the knees being held above the hips. And then let's lead with the left toes. Tap the left toes down, and then the right. Lift the left knee up, lift the right knee up. Coming into our last one on this side. And then bring the knees into the chest for a little hug. Maybe a rock side to side. You can keep the knees together, or you can take them a little wider. We're going to make our way up to a kneeling position now. So just take your time. Maybe rock along the length of the spine a few times. So I mentioned that we were going to work with a Tibetan sun salutation. So I'm just grabbing my little handy dandy knee pads here. If you have some, or if you want a blanket, or if you want to take an extra roll of your mat, you could do that, an extra fold of your mat. So we'll come to a low kneeling position to start. We won't be here long. And I'll just sort of talk you through this. We'll work through it maybe 2 or 3 times. We're basically going to be moving between kneeling and high kneeling, puppy pose, tabletop or a cat pose, down dog, and then back to kneeling. So we'll talk through it here. So starting in that low kneel, breathing in, coming up to a high kneeling position, raising the arms overhead. Take a slight back bend if you like, maybe interlacing the fingers. And as you exhale, come down to puppy pose. So we're just taking it very slowly here, walking the hands forward, coming to forearms and forehead. On your next inhale, plant the palms beneath the shoulders, round the spine, come into your cat pose. Then let's tuck the toes, exhale to your downward facing dog. On your inhale, bring the knees back down, find that arched cat position. Exhale, find your puppy pose again. Next, in breath, we'll walk the hands all the way back. Breathe in as you rise to a tall kneeling position, arms high, slight back bend. And then exhale to your low kneeling position. So just nice and slowly, we'll move through that a couple more times. We'll get the hang of it as we go. Let's make sure you have enough padding there under your knees, low kneeling. With your inhale, rise up to a high kneeling. Arms raise and then lean back slightly, back bend. Exhale, coming forward to your puppy pose. So walk the hands forward, hips above the knees, sink down. Come up to your cat position, inhaling. Angry cat, press your palms to the mat, around your spine. And then exhale to your downward dog. Tuck the toes, bring the hips up. Find that cat pose again, inhale. Exhale to puppy. Melt your heart down. Inhale, walk the hands back. We're going to bring the arms high overhead. Find that tall kneeling position. Lean back slightly. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart, low kneel. We'll try one more here. Inhale, bring the arms high, high kneeling. Little back bend. Exhale, puppy pose, walk the hands forward. Inhale, arch to cat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, arch to cat. Exhale, last time to puppy pose. Inhale, walk the hands back, come to that tall kneeling position, raise your arms, take another little back bend here if you like. And exhale, come to that low kneel. There, that was a Tibetan sun salutation apparently. I just learned from another teacher, friend of mine. I hadn't done it for a while, so I hope you felt you had some good movement there. Nice little flow, little stretch. We'll meet in tabletop. And you might still have some padding under your knees there. Let's take some big hip circles here. So just coming forward, around, and back. You can close your eyes. You can get the side body into it a little bit too. As you come back, circle to the side. You might find a nice stretch there in the intercostal muscles. After your next full circle, we'll change directions. And then we'll come back to a neutral tabletop. Let's tuck our toes and rise to our downward facing dog again. And this time, take a few moments to explore, maybe pedaling the feet, gazing back towards your feet so your head is nice and heavy. You can give it a little nod and a shake if you like. And then let's come to stillness in our downward dog. Take the feet a little bit wider, so maybe they come wider stance towards the edge of your mat, maybe even just off of your mat. See what feels good. Walk the hands back a little bit, closer to your feet, and then take your left hand, place it just in front of your gaze there, central on your mat. Take your right hand, twist to the left. Maybe your right hand comes to your hip or thigh, knee, calf, or ankle. You can find something to hold on to there with your right hand, and just use that to help you find a little twist, looking under your left shoulder, left armpit. We'll come back and place the right hand where the left hand was, twisting to the right this time. So the left hand comes to the right ankle or knee or hip, waist, looking under your right armpit. And then let's return to a more neutral downward facing dog. So walk the hands forward a little bit, bring the feet back, maybe to about hip distance. Let's look to the top of our mats. Make our way forward to a ragdoll. So ragdoll, forward fold. You might have blocks underneath your hands here. You might take opposite elbows and cup your hands around them and sway a little bit. Anything that feels good, where you're feeling nice and long and relaxed. Feel that length in the spine. Shoulders opening up a little bit. Hips and hamstrings. It's nice to rest the belly and the ribs on the upper thighs. And let's find stillness. Rise to a halfway lift. So lengthen the spine, strengthening the spine here, gazing forward, hands to the shins. Exhale into fold. And we'll do that half lift one more time. Lift and lengthen, stretch and strengthen. Breathing out, fold, and then rise to stand, bending the knees, just unwind slowly. Arms will come up high. And then exhale, cactus the arms. Find some space there in the front body. Inhale, bring the arms high, and we're just going to flow a little bit, leaning right to left. Exhale, lean to the left. Slide your right hand down your outer right thigh. And bump the hips a little to the left. Breathe in, arms rise. Breathe out, lean to the left. Inhaling to bring the arms high. Exhaling, lean right. Inhaling, rise up. One more time, left side, stretch. Reach that right arm past your ear, keep the shoulders stacked. Inhale, we'll bring both arms high. And exhale, find that cactus shape again with the arms. This time, breathe in, arms come up. And exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift and lengthen, breathe in. Exhale, place the palms to the earth. Step back here to plank. We're going to hold in our plank either from the knees or from the toes, just for 2 breaths, but think about your alignment while you're here, so we're not ignoring this really important posture. One more big breath in and out. And then you can soften to your knees if you want to, if you're not already, or just lower all the way down, bending the elbows. And all the way down to the chest and belly, release the thighs, untuck the toes. Let's press up here to a gentle back bend of your choice. Sphinx might suit you well, or baby cobra, mid cobra. Take another breath here, thinking about that nice long spine. And then lower down. Let's reach that left arm out from the shoulder. You might bend the elbow or you might keep it straight. You'll just see when you get into the pose if you'd like to shift or adjust. For me, keeping it lengthened works better. It's more intense if you want to bend the elbow. Settle your left ear down to the mat, your left temple. Bend your right knee and then lift that right hip up so it stacks over your left and stamp that right foot down behind you. A nice one for the shoulders here. You decide whether or not that left arm is lengthened or up on a bit of an angle or elbow bent. Let's slowly release so we come back to our bellies. And we'll do that on the other side. Right arm will extend out from the shoulder, right ear softens down to the mat. Bend your left knee. And then just roll over. So you're stamping your left foot behind you. I find it useful to come up on my left fingertips here, like tent the fingers a little bit. Press into that left hand a bit. Deepening the stretch for the right shoulder. Another full breath in and out. Then just unwind, come back to the belly and the chest. Bring the hands beneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes. Come back through your tabletop or your tall plank. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And then find stillness. From here, let's raise the right leg up with an inhale. And with an exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. You can soften your left knee to the earth. And just take a breath or two here. Hands can be on blocks if you like, or on the earth. Checking in with your left hip flexor as you keep your right knee above your right ankle. Just pressing forward with that left hip a little bit so you're feeling a nice opening. Deep breaths. Bring both hands now to the inside of your right foot and just heel toe your right foot off to the right a little bit. Finding your lizard pose. You can stay high for your lizard pose if you want, palms to the earth. You could lower down, forearms to a brick or forearms to the earth. And it might be different when we come to the other side. So do what feels good for you right here on this side. A couple breaths here, then we're going to move into our pigeon pose from here. And if this version of pigeon that we're coming into, if it's not the best for you, then you can come to your spine. You can cross your right ankle over your left knee and then find that figure 4 there, drawing that left knee towards you. Come into your reclined pigeon. So we'll just ease out of our lizard now, pressing the palms to the mat if they weren't already. Walk, just heel toe that right foot over to the left side of your mat, setting your shin down. Walking that right leg back, maybe taking a peek, hip, knee, and ankle are aligned. Nice and tall in the spine, and then you can stay up if you want. You can come part way down using blocks under your under your forearm, so you can come all the way down. We're going to be here for about 6 breaths tonight. Settling and softening and maybe just checking, like I like to remind myself here, checking in with your shoulders and your jaw. Can be an intense pose. I want to try and release as much as we can here, so use your breath. Take a couple more full breaths. So as we release our pigeon, we'll press up and we're going to lean over into that right hip. So rather than coming into our downward dog, we're going to swing the left leg in front and bring the right sole of the foot to connect with that inner left leg. From here, we'll take a nice side bend. So reach over to the left with your left hand, slide that hand inside or outside your left leg, reach your right arm up and over, long past your ear. Just check in with your shoulders here. You don't have to lean far sometimes to find that nice stretch in the waist and side ribs. Just stack the shoulders, rotate that elbow back a little bit. Use your core strength in your right arm to help you rise up. We'll bring the hands back in front. Swing that left leg behind again. Tuck the toes and come back to our downward facing dog. You can pedal out here. Take any movement you'd like for that left or that right leg that's been compressed for a little while. And settle the right foot down beside the left in your downward dog. We'll raise the left leg now, breathing in. 3-legged dog, briefly exhaling to step the left foot forward between the hands. Soften your right knee down to the mat. And we'll take a couple of breaths here with the hands grounded to the mat or to blocks. Finding some length in your spine. And just breathing here as you press that right hip forward. Just let that right hip soften down and forward. And then preparing to move a little deeper here into our lizard, your version of lizard. Take both of your hands to the inside of your left foot. Heel toe the left foot out towards the left side of your mat. Toes might be a little wider than the heel. And then you can stay high. You can stay high for a couple breaths and then lower down if you want. Your choice. Just find your version of lizard here, a couple of breaths. And rising up, if you were lowered down onto your forearms, press into the palms and then heel toe the left foot towards the right side of your mat. Getting set for your pigeon. If you're taking this version of pigeon, setting the shin across the mat on any ankle, walking your right leg back, lengthening it behind you. Get nice and tall in the spine. And then maybe staying here, maybe gently folding forward a little bit or a lot. And you can also be on your spine for this, crossing your left ankle over your right knee, finding your reclined pigeon. Let's take about 6 breaths. Take another nice full deep breath in and out. Press your way upright and we'll swing. We'll lean over onto the left hip. And just sweep the right leg forward, lengthening it out in a bit of a diagonal, bringing the left sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. And we'll take that side stretch here. So sliding that right hand down, the inner or outer right leg, reaching the left arm over. It might just be gentle, it might just be a gentle bend. Sometimes if you don't have to go very far, especially if you're focusing on opening, rotating that left shoulder and left elbow back a little bit. Use your core strength to draw yourself back upright. And we're going to bring both legs to lengthen in front of us. And just give a little attention to that left leg right now. Let it sort of swish side to side, find a little movement after we've been compressing those joints. We're going to come back to a bit of a restorative pose here before we come into our Shavasana. So you can take a nice soft version of fish pose if you want, if you have a bolster. So laying the bolster down and just bringing it to your hips and unwinding there. If you would like a little more opening, you could use your blocks and you could actually make a ramp with your blocks for your bolster. You have both. Or you can place one of your blocks across your, just behind your heart space, and the other one for your head. So you can decide what you'd like to do here. If you were going to make a ramp, it might look like this. And then you can lean back. See what works for you. And then once you're settled there, another option is to take the soles of your feet together. Let the knees display apart from one another. Find your reclined butterfly while you're in your supported fish or variation of your heart opener as well. Just find a place that feels comfortable. If you don't have a bolster, a really great option is a rolled up blanket, a couple of firm cushions. Feel your Breathing, slowing right down. Let the body be soft and relaxed here. Taking 3 or 4 nice full deep breaths here. So there are some options here. If you're feeling really blissed out and you'd like to stay right here for your Shavasana, you can do that. Grab any extra props or blankets, socks or sweaters that you need. If there's a final posture you'd like before Shavasana, you can just ease out of this pose and maybe take, it's gotten quite into the hips tonight, but you could take another happy baby, or you could take a supine twist, both sides and legs up, supported bridge, or you just come into your Shavasana. As you settle in, wherever you decide is best for your final resting posture, closing down the eyes, maybe allow the palms of the hands to open up toward the sky, or some people like to connect those hands to the body and feel the breath. Find a place for your hands to rest. It's soft and easeful. Just listen to your own breath here. Listen to your own heartbeat, if you can imagine. Time to slow down now, that point in our practice where we get to welcome complete relaxation of the body. Hopefully feeling those effects on the mind space as well. Finding a little more space there. So let your body be heavy, relax, let go of tension, holding, soften the brow and forehead. Muscles around the eyes, the temples, the cheeks, the jaw, the throat. Let everything go all the way down to your toes. Maybe coming back to that idea of gratitude for the breath as we began our practice. Our ever-present infinite breath is there as a source of grounding, a source of pause, and an opportunity for us always to connect inward. So just release here, relax, continue to find that softness in the body and that spaciousness in the mind. Just allow yourself to rest in being. Feel free to remain right where you are if you're in the comfort of your home and you have that opportunity and just like to rest in your Shavasana. Please just stay as long as you're able. If you'd like to slowly begin to release your Shavasana, just be gentle, intuitive about some small movements, deepening the breath, finding an awareness of that energy around you and drawing some of that energy back in the body. And if you do feel like closing your practice from a seated posture, take a couple of breaths on your side as you make your way up. And then your eyes can still be closed or your gaze soft if you like. And a big breath, let's raise the arms overhead. Bring the palms together with your exhale. Just soften the palms down towards your heart. Take the thumbs to the sternum. Tip your chin if you like. Go inward for a moment to recall your intention, or maybe just take a thought that will serve you well for the week ahead. Maybe being grateful or hopeful or joyful about something. Thanks so much, all of you, for being here tonight, for sharing your time and energy. It was a pleasure practicing with you, and I hope you have a great start to your week. Good evening tonight as well. Much peace. Namaste.